Usha, as I said again, that was a more than stellar job. The last time I read here, I actually attempted to read one of her pieces. I believe it's in the Nicaragua section. I'm not sure. It's called Fruit Tango. That's all I know. I failed miserably, but I tried. I'd like to see you do it someday. It was one of my favorite pieces. It was definitely a standalone piece. First piece I'm going to read is by this ancient Roman poet named Catullus. Compared to Ovid and others, I think Catullus is a bit underrated, and I'll tell you, he can be a bit of a smart aleck sometimes. I've seen that in his work, but here's one that stood out to me. So there weren't any titles, he just put them in Roman numerals, so this is number 50. At leisure, Licinius, yesterday, we'd much fun with my writing tablets as we agreed to be frivolous. Each of us writing light verses, played now with this meter, now that, capping each other's jokes and toasts. Yes, and I left there, fired by your charm, Licinius, and wit. So food gave poor me no pleasure, nor could I rest my eyes in sleep, but wildly excited turned and tossed over the bed, longing for daylight that I might be with you and talk. But after my tired, aching limbs were lying on the couch half dead, I made this poem for you, the charmer, so you could spot my trouble from it. Now don't be rash, please. Don't reject our prayers. We implore you, precious, lest Nemesis make you pay for it. She's a drastic goddess. Don't provoke her. Thank you. Some of you may have heard this before. Hypocrisy's beauty beneath monarchy. Part 1. Be a good king and kiss this divinity ring, like the rulers preceding you, like the ancestors before you. Part 2. To the ones who birthed you, there is no future in the calibrated coordinates above. To the ones who foretold your first sunrise, there is no past to write about. To the ones who carried you to the candid river, Victorian undersea castles await fathoms below. To the ones who exposed you to Chicago's utopia, they were enamored by your obsession with metropolitan life. Ordinary, yet contrary, you bathed in the Dead Sea and exited as a lively pillar of salt. Salt of the earth, dissolved after unresolved issues brought forth raindrop after raindrop. The sky water is committing stormicide, pounding the soil at full speed and velocity. Part 3. Well, what about the primordial scrolls, archaic archives locked away in the doldrums of the dreaded underworld, tainted Tartarus, the hell, the place where La Rona wept for 8 years straight? She was someone's querida once, but betrayal took the semblance of a black-hearted bastard who embraced cowardice like a homesick dependent, clinging tightly to madre y padre, leering lobo over the luna, steering clear of the treacherous pack. She knows I can commit, but can I evade the graveyard train? Fogarty wails about 30 stone people in bone-made boxes carrying their corpses, imprisoned within a place where the worms never slumber. I praise them to the tomes of the dead. I thank them to the unmarked graves. There is no greater gift than eternity under anonymity. Part 4. I take you for granted because I know that imitation is the sincerest form of immaturity and inspiration is the sincerest form of flattery. Those gods of insanity did not realize just how one goes about living a mortal life in a pending series of death traps. Still, these rustic shelters hold fond memories of a childhood left behind so soon. How quaint, how queer, the fictional fox who brings news is here, ready to spread socioeconomic gossip to the mouths and ears of citizens who believe any pair of sentences they undeniably hear. Part 5. Be a decent queen and desensitize this Renaissance man to the New Age scene, like the commoners among you, like the descendants after you. Thank you. Mostly when I write in notebooks, they're more of a potpourri collection, and I might categorize them later, and I might not. But this one is, it's a concept poem, and it is split up into different little sections with separate poems. And I'm not going to explain what the concept is until it is finito, as I think it is similar to a bad luck of seeing a bride in her wedding dress before the actual ceremony. And this piece is called Laugh. Laugh, laugh, snicker, got humor, have jokes will travel, humor my greatest ally. I make love to you every day in your euphoric environment, burying my love in your euphoric environment, echoing in barbaric ha-ha tones, a lullaby of chuckles sent to my loved one after she deserves this. A lifetime killing tears, lusting after anger's suppression, staring at the cobblestone floor. In this one humane body, a laugh attack is necessary. Bittersweet and demented, a quip that is corny. Who cares about the rule of thumb, the total number of guffaws? Losing it alongside you, it feels like I have ingested a carton full of uppers with kicks of caffeine. We are two hyenas without obligatory cares in this world. Two saplings who evolve into a serene, elated green. Until death's alarm clock rang, we collected certain seconds. When her celebratory funeral occurred on a blackened evening, we laughed. Poetry Lives by Usha's book.